trying to do this interview with the Hype Magazine.
No, thank you, man. Is it the Ras Kass one or is it the Gutter one?
Ras Kass.
Okay, great. I wanted it to be on the Ras Kass one.
Yes, sir. So to get
on
started,
my computer, but I don't know if I'm able to off my MacBook, but I'm good.
Okay, dope. So to get started, can you tell the fans and listeners who you are and where you're from?
My name is Ras Kass. I represent the city north of Long Beach, southwest of Compton, which is Carson, California.
Yes, sir. Now, you've been in this music industry a very long time. We're going to go over a lot of highlights for you tonight. But to get started, what made you want to be in the music industry in the first place?
I did not. I didn't want to be in it. I just wanted to rap, man. I wanted to, honestly, I came from a pure space, man. I really wanted to have I'm always a fan first. And the people that inspired me, the Rakims and the Karis Ones and the Big Daddy Kanes and LL Cool J and Nas and Biggie and Pac and Ice Cube. I wanted to have a tape or a vinyl with my face on it,
okay,
and my voice on it. I wanted to be able to give it to my mother, and then the ego side is I wanted the people who I looked up to. I wanted them to possibly say, "Hey kid, you're kind of cool. You kind of dope like us." Like I wanted to be in. Yeah. I wanted the people I looked up to think I was at least in the vicinity, you know. So I just started from that.
Now, with you being from California, do you think it made it harder for you or easier for you to get in the game?
Yeah, I think you know, every location has their mainstay of what is successful to them. Yep. So it was a harder sell because of the success of you know, our gangster rap culture in the music industry. That's what they were looking for more than, you know, lyrical, you know, philosophical, you know, socio-political music. So I think a lot of us had it harder. You know, some brothers paved the way, and you know, you know, the High Rolls and the Dales and Fox Eyes. Some of the brothers paved the way, but you know, we just kind of had a rough time of getting outlets or getting opportunities to be heard. So there were a few people that were very instrumental in a lot of us getting those opportunities, and that would be Mike Nardone. Yeah, we should give him his roses. He was probably the first person that I can remember on FM radio supporting rap music, like hip hop music, in LA. Obviously, the Wake Up Show came right after that, and they blew it out the water for us. And also, as far as a venue, Big and B, they and then they do Unity. So that was like that was our club, and those were the stations where we could, you know, get our records played at like midnight, 1 o'clock. But at least we was playing. It was FM. We was rocking, so it was awesome.
Now, like you said, you being from California, you know, gangster rap kind of had led the way, but you know, you're known more for being a lyricist and talking about real issues and stuff today we all love and adore. But when you were coming up, was it as adored back then when you were taking the, you know, making those statements and, you know, speaking on these issues? Was it as accepted as it is now?
I think prior to my, I would say my grade, you know, I'm right after the Commons and, you know, and Nas and, you know, Twister, all of them, and, you know, they're like 93, 94 MCs. I think there was some degree of a shift, and I think everybody kind of wanted to party by the time I got a chance. You know what I'm saying? They was like, "Oh, fuck this caring about the world shit. Where's the club at?" So, yeah, I might have been a day late, $1 short.
Well, your first project, So on Ice, even if you were a day late, $1 short, is renowned today from all hip hop fans across the world as one of the most important projects to come out, you know, from the West Coast because of that content matter and stuff like that. So how does that make you feel now, looking back, to know maybe in at that time it wasn't as respected or wasn't appreciated, but now all these years later, it's still regarded as one of the best albums ever?
Thank you, brother. I told you so. That's how I feel. I knew what I was doing. You know,
Yep.
I wrote it to stand the test of time. I think it's a very honest album.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to do that every project, but you know, for my first album, I caught a lot of flack. I got, you know, people, you know, a lot of complaints from the people closest to you, from the, you know, the gangbang homies. It wasn't gangster enough. The hip hop homies, like, oh, it wasn't hip hop, and like, you know, you can't please everybody. It didn't sell, you know, platinum, so the label's like, well, your ideas are bad. I'm like, well, then why'd you sign me?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, for me, I knew it was an honest album, and all you can do is do the best you can and give it to the world. And you know, I always kind of my metaphor is like it's a baby. So you do all this creation, and then you know everybody comes out, starts spitting on your baby and dropping it on their head, but it was still my baby. You
Yeah.
know, I was grateful to have the opportunity to have the baby, you
Yeah.
know, to bring the baby to the world. So I know it holds up. I think Solo Nights is truer now than it was then, which is amazing to me in retrospect.
Yeah.
And my peers were always very supportive. You know,
Yep.
one of the first things Keith Murray ever said to me, like, he was like, "You're 10 years ahead of your time." He was like, "They don't get you." You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I was like, "You're Keith Murray, so that's crazy." So if I'm 20 years, if I'm 10 years ahead of my time, I mean, it must mean I'm like 25 or something. So I was like, "Thanks, bro." So I've always gotten that level of respect from the, you know, my MC peers.
Yep. And on that project, you kind of spoke on some of the same issues that you have to speak about today, still today, where they're talking about, you know, is New York the Mecca, or can you be a successful artist not in New York? You had a song that it's, you know, approached that, but even all these years later, it still seems to be a conversation I knew you have to have all the time. In your mind, from your point of view, why is it that you guys on the West Coast still have to have that conversation about New York versus West Coast, not on some beef stuff, just lyrical ability and talents that you guys have?
Well, I think, you know, our success comes from the sound, you know, the West Coast sound. And so I think a lot of times, I will use this argument with Black Thought also. Because Black Thought has such great music, people start overlooking what he can do on a mic. And so we, you know, the West Coast was more musical, some beautiful production, and sometimes people don't realize Ice Cube was killing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Corrupt and pouring fucking hamburgers. So a lot of times people, you know, it's not a crutch, but because we have great music, great production, people don't perceptibly understand it. If you just strip that, the bars is right. You know what I'm saying? Even, you know, just because it's gangster rap, I mean, because for me, I feel like so is G-Rap.
Yeah.
G-Rap is gangster rap. So is Nas. Illmatic is a gangster rap album. Text by the Dresser and shit like that. So, you know, people's perception, their marketing perception becomes their reality, whereas I see everything, I feel like with a little more clarity because I'm into the words. The production is secondary for me. The words matter most for me.
Yeah. Now you started very young and you linked up with some legendary producers very early in your career. How did you meet up with them, and what was it like working with these legendary producers at such a young age?
Man, I was blessed, man. You know, honestly, from, you know, the Battle Cats to Kid Capri, Diamond D, you know, being pulled in and, like I said, accepted by those people. A lot of pressure, you know, initially. So honestly, even with the Dr. Dre's and the premieres, like I had an opportunity, and I probably have blacked it out in my brain, but I got nervous one time in front of somebody and I fumbled.
Oh,
and,
okay.
And what I promised to myself I would never do that again.
Yeah.
And so I'm not gonna lie, when the first time I got around Dr. Dre or Premier in the studio, I psyched myself out and made up this whole story, like basically they was dissing me. Like, so in my brain, I'm like, yeah, Dr. Dre said you whack. DJ Premier said you whack. Fuck that. You gotta show these motherfuckers right now. So I'm psyching myself up. They super nice to me. They're like, Raz, man, we love you. And then I'm like, and I'm probably, you know, a little bit quiet because I'm like, I have to make this story up so I don't fumble and, like, you know, if I get too much in the moment, I will lose focus on what I'm here to do. You know what I'm saying? And so I couldn't be like, wow, I'm really, you know, I'm really here with Diamond D and Kid Capri and And Big L in the studio, like, this is fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like, I was just a kid down the street last week, and now I'm like, I bought these vinyls, looking at it, and I'm having a conversation with these dudes like a peer. And so, yeah, I just have to psych myself out.
And with your rhyme style, it's not the easiest rhyme to remember or any of that. So I'm imagining you're standing in front of Dr. Dre and you're ready to do some lyrical miracle stuff, and it's tongue tied or it gets a little nervous and it makes it hard. But your punchlines, even if you're struggling, I know they heard the wordplay because you're ahead of the time with all that.
Bro, I can honestly say that one time, that fumble, so by the time I'm one of the, I don't know how many people at the time that did a perfect verse with Premier at the time. The only people who have done it, but out of Premier's mouth, was Nas and Biggie.
Okay.
And then I went in and did a perfect one take Willie on the first verse of Golden Child.
Wow.
Like, one take, he like, yeah, I think that's it. I'm like, yeah, I think so too. I'm like, oh shit, okay, we good. You know what I'm saying? So, and then same thing with Doc. Like, I didn't, because I wasn't in the moment. I was in my competition.
Yeah.
I think I executed well, because you only get that first time to make that, that first impression. So my whole shit was, let me go in here and fuck the shits and giggles and the high five, and like, I need to go in here like
get serious with it.
I got something to prove, and it worked well for me. Those things, those some of my highlights, to know that I went in there and took care of business, and then it relaxes the environment, because then it was like they know what I'm capable of. So then it was more relaxed, and if I did fuck something up, we kind of, it was always great. Like, Doc would always just be like, "So what are you here?" And I'd be like, I don't really like the timing on that was off, or, whatever, we fix it. You know what I'm saying? But I never took a lot of time in the studio. I was a fast writer and a fast delivery person. I am. That's just how I like, when it comes to me, it comes. I proofread, I proofwrite, you know what I'm saying? So I'm usually, it's the third edit where I feel like, okay, I'm ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, okay, that bar could be stronger. I self-edit. And then once we lay it, I don't know if it's good or not until I lay it. And then we're all looking around, and you know what I'm saying? And, whoever the producer is, whatever other artist is on there, you kind of know when you get out the booth, like, yeah, that was it. You know what I'm saying? Or niggas like, I don't know, bro. I throw it against the wall. That's a quote. I stole that from Dr. Dre. You throw it against the wall, and it basically
see if it goes. Yeah.
I try not to throw it against the wall prematurely. I try to make sure it's cooked up pretty righteous, and then I go for it.
Now, is your process for that, because you're, like you said, you care more about the bars and the lyrics than the beat sometimes? So when you go into a studio session, unlike other artists who got to hear the beat and got to write around it, you're kind of coming in with the song already, and now let's fit the beat towards it? Or is that kind of your process?
Different ways. Some records I wrote Nature the Threat. I didn't have a beat. Quite a few of the Apollo Brown records, How to Kill God and all of them, I had already written. And then it really becomes a matter of syllables.
Yep.
If this beat that I like, that I think fits it, is faster, then I have to start taking syllables out. If it's slower, I have to add some syllables, or I have to change the swing of the rhyme. So it's different approach for different things. I mean, I'm all for, because the music can tell you what to do. When I come in with a pre-written rhyme, and now I'm trying to, it's kind of the reverse. I'm almost putting the cart before the horse. But it's still, it can be done. The easier thing to do is get the beat and vibe out and let the beat tell you what to do. So I can do either way. I have fun doing either of them.
Yeah. And one thing you've done really well is, as being a legend, you're still very open to the younger kids and all the up and coming artists. I know you worked with K-Dot before he was Kendrick. You've worked with a lot of major artists we know today. What is it about you think that keeps giving back to the up and comers? Sometimes you get people who are successful and they want to keep everybody under them in a certain position, but you seem to uplift everybody. What is it about you think that does that?
I think I like the sport, man, and I do like, I love to hear somebody that makes me want to get back to my pen. Like, wow, okay, because we all run around here like, Highlander, you know, like there can only be, you know, I want to be the best. There can only be one, but you know, you hear some other ones, and I'm like, yo, that's motivation. And the way I always say it is, why it takes a really insecure. They blame it on capitalism, but I think it's fear. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that's good business. I don't want to work with this dude because you don't want, you know, want him to outshine you. That's scary. You know what I'm saying? To be the best, you got to beat the best. So I encourage and I love to engage with talent. So I always say, like, why should I hate on whatever your belief system is, whatever your parents, your genetics, whatever God gave you, whatever nature gave you, whatever, however you say that, why should I deny that or try to hate on that? Like, I should encourage and embrace that. You know what I'm saying? And I, you know, I learn from everybody. Some, like I used to say, like, I learn from white people, like what I don't want to do. Like, I hate how he said, I don't want to do that because it's awful. So, you know, just like I learned from dope people. So I like to be encouraged. I like the thrill of the competition. You know, even, you know, when you get up there on Rest in Peace, K Slay show or whatever, and it's another MC there, and y'all going for broke, like, you know, you don't want to be the guy that gets smoked. But sometimes somebody be having a great day and they get busy. You like, I'm okay, I'm coming back, bro, because he killed it. That's motivation.
Now, when you hear projects like Section 80 or, you know, some of the other ones where they're very introspective, damn, and stuff like that, do you ever think like, yo, it's definitely a page of your rhyme book? You know what I mean? Like, it's coming from your lineage?
I think I've influenced, you know, people, you know, like I was influenced. I'm sure I've made an impact on the MCs, not just on the West Coast, in Detroit. You know, Royce always gives me, like, you know, he always will say, like, you know, I wanted to, you know, our favorite, me and him's favorite rappers was Ras Kass and Redman. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so I'm glad that you know, part of my process could be inspiring. You know, and you know, the only thing I always say is, like, give credit where it's due. I hate when people get on and then they act like they don't know
like they did it themselves.
Like, who? I've never heard of that guy. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, stop it. Don't do that. That's, you know, I like to credit everybody, man. You know, because not everybody's going to get super rich. So the one thing you do, I think, is important in hip-hop is give, Gangstar said it, get a credit where the credit is due. So it's always cool to say, so-and-so inspired me. It don't make you look little. It makes you look honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You mentioned DJ K Slay, rest in peace to the legend. I know you had a very great relationship with him. You were one of the few West Coast artists that went to New York and actually tapped in with him in the kitchen and stuff. How did you meet K Slay, and what was it like being, you know, in that environment?
I met Slay through Wise P from the Rangers. That was signed to Rockefeller, signed to Jay. And so, yeah, man. Wise kept saying, you know, I would go back and forth to New York and LA, and Wise was like, dude, Slay, the hottest mixtapes in the streets. Like, you gotta get on the K Slay thing. No West Coast person that went. Period. I'm the first person ever to go from the West Coast. I'm actually who convinced Dr. Dre and Snoop and them to go to K Slay.
Wow. Okay.
Like, I don't understand. Like, you know what I'm saying? For free watching, I'm like, bro. You gotta understand this mixtape shit. Slay is the hottest dude, so you gotta go, and you gotta go to the apartment. You gotta go to Harlem. It's a vibe. It's a thing. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You Snoop Dogg, y'all superstars, but you want to touch these people, man. And this is a touch. He's really the streets. He's a street sweeper. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always, you know, I'm glad I could be a part of that because that was a big thing for him. Like getting Dre and Snoop Dogg and them, and I think him too. Up there, like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, like I want, you know, I was lucky enough to get on Tony Touch, you know what I'm saying? Like the second 50 MC. So I wanted part of that culture because I would buy those mixtapes, bring them back out here. And we didn't have no representation. I'm like, bro, I want to be the representation. I want to hop on these songs with, you know what I'm saying, whoever it is, with the Locks and everybody else barring down on these things. I want to get on that shit too. And I, you know, felt like I had the skill set. And a lot of times I just wasn't around. So I was really grateful that Wise introduced me to Slay, and then we hit it off. So, you know, I had an open door policy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a new record or you want to freestyle? I'm like, I'm over there. I'm coming over there to knock one down. And, you know, Papoose, you know, that was early. Papoose, like, that was just, you know, Papoose didn't have no deal or nothing. Papoose just rhyming. He hadn't met his wifey. You know what I'm saying? And I don't believe. So, you know, it was us, you know, even Green Lantern, bro. Like I was working, like I did Green Lantern stuff before he ever met
him.
Nas, Eminem, like all that, bro. So a lot of us, it's 13th grade is what I call it nowadays. It was just another gladiator school of us working, and and then you see some people get these, shine and get these amazing opportunities. But we all know, we have a talent, so we just keep fighting for that.
In that environment, like you said, a whole bunch of MCs in a room together, spitting the best lines they can to get on the project. I'm sure that's like fun to you because you've been a wordsmith for so long. Do you get the credit you deserve for the combining the West Coast back to the East Coast? We had the West Coast beef and stuff, but you were a very integral part, as you said. You connected DJ K Slay with Dre and them. You started building bridges that a lot of people thought would never come. Do you get the credit for that, you think?
I don't think so. No. But like OC was my big brother, because I met O through Diamond and all of them, and like it was crazy buying times up to chilling with OC, you know what I'm saying? And then thanks to the the Lyricist Lounge project, we caught a lot of flack on that because me and O, like he was like big, like he was like, his style is my style, toothpick, the fade with the part, like, what I'm saying, the crescent moon, like, the Nas's, like, it's certain clean cut looking dudes. That's the whole MO. So, you know what I'm saying? I looked up to him as a big brother, lyrically, and just getting down. And we would, like, when I would go out, we'd go do shit and go out to clubs, whatever, he'd take me out. And it was awesome to like get to socialize and know some of these brothers again as a peer on this mic. You know what I'm saying? A lot of MCs just weren't considered the caliber of MC to rock. Like, might still like them in their music, but not like on this mic. Undeniable.
You're definitely one of the few people who is a lyrical person that stood the test of time. Like, your music still today, we're going to get into in a second. You're still making amazing music today, and we know what your kids are doing. So it just shows the pedigree that you have and the love you take for this craft of being an MC. You take it very seriously, and it shows for that.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, I did it for free. So this is my passion. It's my hobby turned, my job, which, peaks and valleys, but I wouldn't want to be doing, anything else than being creative in some capacity with music involved in it. It doesn't have to be rapping, but I just enjoy the whole creative process.
Do people realize what it is to be a success in the music industry? We all have this idea of overnight celebrity status and getting to be on the carpets, but you've been around for a long time. You're a legend. You get to go to all the same events. You're at every concert we can imagine. Do people understand the work ethic that goes into this, and then what it is to be success in music right now?
No, I don't think so, because we only see the end result. They see, they see the 1% of the, thousands of people doing hard work and making a life out of it. The engineer and the sound man and the runner and the, the videographer. All they see is the guy popping the bottle and the hot chick, and and then so they go to the studio with that mentality. That is Miller time. It's not. This is work. They don't see all the hard work and the scrap songs that maybe the other 10 songs that didn't make the album because they just by whoever, because Busta Rhymes like, nah, that ain't the right hook. Like, fuck, it's dope, but no, it ain't right. Fuck that. We gotta use this other one.
Or you can't get the clearance. You got the dopest song you ever made in your life, and you got one little symbol that somebody said it needs cleared.
So they just see the end result, and if you go into it with that kind of that attitude that your quality control doesn't matter, that all you want is some to get some bitches or some fame, then you probably won't last long, because it ain't as easy as it looks at the end. The end is, of course, it's great to go and and pop off and what I'm saying, your name and lights and all that, but it's a lot of work to get there, and not everybody's gonna have their name at it's the main dude. You might be the man next to the man. You might be the dude at the beginning. And it's okay. You know what I'm saying? I always kind of equate it to like indie rock. Like, there's a lot of people having a great living,
Yep.
and you never heard of them, and that's fine. They're not trying to be Van Halen. They just happy being whoever they are. And they can do their tours and, you know, maybe rock for, you know, 200-300 people in every little town, and if it ever grows, it grows, and if not, they'll still be able to sustain, you know, a life, and they get to make the music they want, and that's success. That's success. Not everybody's gonna get, you know, the $1 trillion, and and that's okay. I mean, I always said, like, well, actually, I'll quote David Banner. One thing he said was, "So does it really matter if you have two Bentleys? You can't drive them at the same time. So what?
Yep.
Why does that really matter? Why is that what you're talking about?
Yep.
You know, there's more important things. It's cool I'd like to have a Bentley too.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't need to have 3 of them. I just think at some point it's just like kind of corny. You know what I'm saying? It's free. It's selfish.
In your early projects, you always spoke on the fact that you're not out here trying to get platinum and awards. You want to be recognized by your peers and be called a legend someday. So now here we are in the future, and that's exactly what you are. You're known as a legend for your bars and your lyricism, and anybody can get it, meaning either you can be on a track with them friendly, or if you got to go at them,
the gloves are off, and I'm trying to cut your throat, buddy. Yeah, man. No, yeah, man. It's incredible because, you know, time just flies. I'm blessed to still be around, breathing, alive, capable of still writing, you know, saying, speaking, and still being able to do what I enjoy. And like, I haven't let off the gas. I got something to prove. I got stuff to prove. So I thought, honestly, I'd have maybe, you know, 3 albums. Well, I think I was signed for 5. So I was like, you know, I'll be finished saying what I need to say by 5 albums. But, you know, the more you live, the more you learn, the more you experience, the more fucking things I need to vent. This is my therapy, so I'm usually venting and, you know, working out my problems on the mic. I'm just like, this is wrong. That, you know, I told, you know, the Twinz that years ago. I was like, if you want to figure out what I'm going through, you can just buy an album. It's like a time capsule of whatever. This is fucked up. This is okay. I like her. This ain't cool. Da-da-da. I fucked up here. I'm bad. I did this. So for me, these are always, as long as I live, I guess I'll have something to talk about. And if I don't, then I hope I would be, you know, I'd hope it'd be, you know, I'd have the wherewithal to quit. Because I don't want to do
That's what so great about you, though. We all know the story of Priority. We know all the BS you went through with deals, but you've never let it make you negative. You're always smiling. You always have a positive, even though things may not have went as you anticipated. In some of your songs, you said you were stealing money from my kids, but you never really made that personal. What allows you to stay positive in this industry when it's full of the snakes and all that we know are here?
In general, I vent on the mic. I say all the shit I want to say there. That's my therapy. I mean, sometimes it has gotten the better of me, and I'm like fucking, you know, feeling and angry. That's kind of long gone. I think I've processed all of that out. But when shit gets to me and I'm upset, I just write about it. But my mom kind of encouraged that. She just encouraged us to write, you know, specifically. So I get a different, like, I don't have no brothers, so that's kind of the mic is my brother. That's who I talk to. The mic is my homie. It's my therapist. So I just say the shit. Sometimes I make songs and you'll never hear them because I probably said some shit I shouldn't have said. And fuck you and fuck that, you know, and I hate this. And like, nobody can hear this, but I'm never going to delete it. I just got to tweet it like, wow, that got said. I needed to get it out. So instead of expressing it, I get to express it.
One thing, too, about you is you get a lot of love from all the industry people that know. We actually got a chance to meet you a long time ago at the BET Awards for the Hitman DJs West when Casper was coming out there. And you were at the mansion party. Me and my business partner, St. James, were doing interviews with everybody. And they said, yo, you want to interview Ras Kass? Oh, hell yeah. Like, that's amazing. So, you know, it's just great to see you still have that spirit about you. But what's it like to know that everybody in the industry, they love you, they support you, and they want to see you win? Like, you know, a lot of other people, they hate on them, but for you, I've never heard anybody say anything bad about you.
You know, I'm blessed because I'm pretty, you know, I'm kind of what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
So you know, I try never to put on no airs. So it's kind of who you hear on the music. The music is who you see in real life. And,
Yeah.
and luckily for me, that's a cool enough person to get along with people. I try not to flex on people or act like I'm more than. I'm, you know, I'm I'm a dude from LA, man. I'm a dude from Carson and Watts, and you know, sometimes my friends are like, "You're too approachable, man. You gotta kind of," you know. I'm like, man, you know, I'm, I'm just, oh, I'm like everybody else. I'm
Yeah.
blessed that those people, because sometimes they say don't meet your heroes because you can be disappointed. And I'm
Yep.
sure I've had bad days, but in general, I try to just, you know, same thing with other artists, whether they're more successful or less successful or new and they ain't got whatever. I try to encourage people, and I'll, you know, and just try to say, hey man, I like what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you a real story. It's documented, but
Okay.
there was a dude battling in Detroit, and it was Proof and Bizarre who were judges, and Proof flew me in and made me a guest host. They have this DVD,
Okay.
and when it all came down to it, it was a New York dude and a dude from Detroit, the two finalists.
Okay.
And when the judges in the crowd went for the Detroit dude, and they were
Of
both
course.
dope. They were
Yeah.
both dope, but I felt like the New York dude, not because he was from New York, not because he's Puerto Rican, none
Yeah.
of that. You know,
Right.
he could have been a white dude from Arkansas.
Yep.
Just because I thought all 3 rounds he killed it. I was like, you had the stronger round. So I voted for Dude, and Dude was disappointed. And I remember I walked up to him and I was just like, bro, you can hold your head. Like, you got to, you know, you in the home team advantage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the crowd has got to go with their people. You know how they go. But you
Yeah.
know, and probably he knows you got that one. You know what I'm saying? You won that.
Yeah.
I'm going to stand up because I ain't got a dog in the race.
Right.
I ain't from New York or Detroit. I told my truth. And I think unfortunately on this one, you know, home team
Yeah.
advantage.
I appreciate you saying that, because a lot of times MCs don't understand those circumstances you got no control over. You can go in, you can kill it, but you're going against the house favorite that paid for everybody to show up. So now you've lost the battle, and you can either take that and say it's unfair and quit, or you can use that as motivation to say, well, next time I'm not going to give them a chance to use this. I'm going to beat them so bad they can't do nothing but submit. Yeah.
Motivation. And the crazy thing is that guy went on to you know, to go through his journey, and now his name is Nims. I mean,
Oh,
he was
Nims. Blue.
so it's Nims, bro.
Yeah.
And he always say like, bro, I remember you rode for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't ride for you. I just kept it honest. Like I felt like you killed it, bro. I couldn't take from you what God gave you. So at least on my part, and I thought the other artist was dope, but I felt like in them. Same, with M. When M lost against Juice, so, I remember I was just like, bro, I think you killed it. I felt like you killed it. And I didn't think it was supposed to go to sudden death. I think if it was, I just try to be honest about the skill set. I don't have favorites. I just like who
You
was
like
dope.
rap?
And who might have had a better day that day. I'm trying to, I'll support, and so yeah, and it's great. M didn't quit. He got motivated and he went through his journey, and now Nims is ironically with Paul Rosenberg with Detroit people. So
it
look
went
at
full
that.
circle.
Came full circle. Yeah.
Now with Nims, I mean, he's been around for a very long. I know you were recently out there, went to the store in Coney Island and seen that. How great is it to see how far he's came? And like you said, now he's got the major situation with Eminem, but before you've seen the journey. Like, how great is it to see how far he's came?
Well, again, it's just great to know it can be done.
Yeah.
Like everybody's journey is gonna be different. Some take longer, some are rockier, but to watch him not give up. Now I know he's happy he didn't give up. He like, shit. I own a store.
Yeah.
I'm making my music. I didn't have to change myself. Same thing. It's encouraging and it's motivation to me to know I got to believe in myself and double down because I want to have my store and and whatever gonna be fuck your life or whatever the fuck whatever my keyword, my phrase is, and people quote it and love it. So it's about just believing in yourself. Always being willing to grow, but this is a risky. I always tell people, man, this is nobody owes us anything, you know, as artists, you know. And there's a lot of competition out there, and then there's just a lot of distraction, and so, you know, you're gonna have to believe in yourself. You got to put your money where your mouth is, literally. You know, nobody's supposed to pay for your studio. Nobody's supposed to. You got to figure out how to do it. Now, if you get lucky and start getting that team together that's willing to believe in you, great. But you know, nobody can really believe in you if you don't believe in yourself first. And it's not. It probably won't be as easy as it looks in the videos.
Yeah. Salute to M80. The first time I got to work with you was the Four Horsemen project. So how did you and M80 link up, and what's it like to have him on your team and doing this A&Ring and all this different stuff that he does to help you and all the legends with
everybody, man. Yeah, man, it's crazy because he'll tell you we cannot stand each other for years and years and years. And you know, I just saw him last night. Planet Asia, Hus Kingpins, all of us went to a friend's event last night, and it's great, man. He's a businessman. He knows his shit. He's a good dude, man. You know, you know, I had to get to know him. He would piss me off, and then finally we had I think it was like 5 years ago, and I think it was pre-COVID, and I was just like, I saw him somewhere, and I was like, you know, you're gonna be around. Yeah, I went to see Corrupt or something, and he was with me. I was like, I can't escape you. I'm gonna end up seeing you anyway. So I was like, the past is the past, and we moved on, and it's just been, you know, been great. He's got some good ideas that we're trying to execute as we speak. Been watching, you know, he's just he comes up with some really good business.
He's got a great mind.
Yeah,
what I love about it for you, Raz, is everybody thinks you're old, and I'm like, dog, you know how many releases he's done in the last 2 years, from Four Horsemen to Long Story Longer to his own project? Like, they don't know all the work that you're doing right now. Is there something that you and your team can be doing differently to get that word out, or is it just people not checking, you think?
Of course, man. And you know, 80 introduced me to Money Man. So what you have to have PR. You have to have somebody, a publicist, because you know, I hope to build a long-term working relationship with Money Man, because you know, it's this old saying: if a tree falls down in you know, in the woods and nobody hears it, did it really fall? Yeah, it really fell, but nobody knows that it fell. So we have. You know, I am in this restructuring, having that awareness, because I don't have the luxury of a record label that constantly says, we got so and so, so and so, and so and so. We Def Jam. This is all the people we got, and they gonna be here, and we, you know, whatever. You know, they have a multi-million-dollar machine of promotions. Every label has that. They're gonna have you on iTunes at the top. They're gonna have you, you know what I'm saying, with placements and opportunities and promo tours and all these other things. I don't have that luxury. You know, not yet. Things are gonna change. We never know what happens in the, you know, tomorrow. But as of now, and you know, in the past, you know, like 8 years, I haven't. So sometimes it's hard letting people know that, hey, man, we're making great music over here. You know what I'm saying? We got Dog Records and High Tech Records and Master Ace Records and blah 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 and all this great shit. And it's just like, you know, they'll discover it. But you know, I can't live in the past, so we
got somebody speaking it to the existence. Ras Kass the Shady. I'm endorsing that one as well. Like, I can see that as a power play for you. But are you looking for major now? Like, you've been around for a while.
I'd love to have a good home, man. Like a dope, even like an indie, like a powerful indie. You know, there's quite a few places that I think would be good fits. And hopefully, you know, something develops. There's a couple of things potentially. I don't know why Shady never, you know, that I always thought that would have been a good home too. But hey, I don't know.
A lot of times you just got to open your mouth. I've learned the hard way. You can be sitting next to that person. They can like you. They can respect everything you do. But if you never look at them, say, hey, but what about me? Like, imagine Ras Kass coming through with the Shady revamp, and you've got all these lyricists, bars spitting people who the only way you can get on the label is what they're known for, bars. I mean, you're the perfect person to be setting that bar for, I believe. You're doing a lot of dope stuff too with the merchandise rollouts and things of that sort. Like, how are you still maximizing physical products in today's world to keep your fans engaged and, you know, keep them involved in what you're doing?
Uh, great teams. Black House Records is based in Spokane in Washington. They're primarily a punk label.
Okay.
But me and Scott, we just got a great rapport. So I do a lot of merch and vinyl and stuff with him. I have a partner in London, and we connected to do merch, not only for Ras Kass, but MOP and Onyx.
Yeah.
So building that whole business out, because we manufacture in India, which is where all the fabrics come from, even before they go to China. So by the time you go to downtown Los Angeles, the markup has happened from India to China, China to downtown, you know, whatever. So your merch costs a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to create an avenue for independent artists as well as large artists, especially when you're going international, that we can manufacture, have your merch already there in Europe, instead of you having to take, you know, these 50-pound boxes, 7 of them, and that's going to cost you, you know, $400. And if you got to keep traveling throughout Europe, hopping on planes every time, you know, spending money. So we're trying to create that one-stop shop. We'll create it, get it to you half and whatever. Like with Havoc, we got, you know, we got him half his merch in Austria, and then he picked up the rest in London. Like, yeah, so you're saving money from your shipping and you're saving money just in your manufacturing. So to answer your question, yeah, it's that, you know, and still trying to expand on that, trying to figure out how to be efficient, cost effective, and still get people what they want with high quality shit. That's the goal. Because prime example of somebody who I think does an amazing job is, you know, Griselda. I just think that, you know, gun, the product looks good, the hoodie is fly, you know, so it becomes all art. It's fashion, it's art, it's visual, it's audio, and people, you know, believe it or not, it's, you know, people say it's a digital world, but people still like to touch it. I don't want to see AI food. I want to eat real ice cream. You know what I'm saying? And there's an experience to be had with when you can rock that T-shirt and touch that vinyl. That shit's ill. Yeah.
Well, then you get it autographed, and that memory sticks with you. One thing I really loved about what you did with the Avatar Gangster, you and Cannabis, you guys did the Buy the Bar challenge. So for people who's not familiar, what was that challenge, and how motivating was it to see all the submissions that came in about people wanting you to buy the bar?
Yeah. So so I got to credit Big Boy for the radio personality. He called me one day and he had this idea. He's like, yo, you should make a song and then, you know, leave a bar and have people, you know, the fans will be motivated to hop on it, possibly different DJs, you know, so you can customize their bar for them within the song. So I took that idea and then I merged it with, I was doing a song with with Cannabis for Mithril Ore, which is their cryptocurrency. And so, you know, I have a great relationship with Matt also. And so I was like, well, look, instead of paying me to do this record, let me curate the record and I'm going to kind of design it, you know, kind of with NFTs in mind too. So he created some NFTs and then I kind of designed the record. We are, you know, Cannabis had done his verse already. And then I designed it, you know, hook, structure, whatever. And then we ran a campaign. So it was buybar.io. And then we, Clearweather brand is a shoe brand. So we had some other, you know, like incentives, you know, people won, some people want shoes. One person won a skateboard from Gifted Glitch. A couple of people want like gift certificates for the shoes. So it was a great campaign. It's something that I want to do as like every quarter maybe. So do another song. It won't be called Avatar Gangster. That was that one thing. But whatever, maybe I'll do another song and possibly have a feature on that record. You know, with those, it's just making sure it's okay with the MC. But I'd like to do that like once every quarter. You know, this just alternative marketing and getting engagement with the people. So it's a way to kind of, you know, embrace the people,
Yeah,
and do something that's a little more specific for each person.
to get them involved in the project. Now, speaking of projects, you know, the hip hop community went crazy recently when you and Havoc mentioned the Gutter project with RJ Payne. So first off, RJ Payne's already recognized as one of the hottest up and coming lyricists in the game, and now you and him are linked up. So how did you guys meet, and what made you decide to do this joint project together with Havoc?
PA Dre, the producer,
Okay.
and PA does a lot of stuff for myself, and I would say it's probably Payne's like main producer, his go-to producer. So he
Okay.
reached out to me initially about doing something for Payne.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, of course, I fuck with him. And, you know, and then me and Payne developed a rapport. And from there, Havoc and Storm's manager, which is also my manager, Storm, he was like, yo, we want to do something. How can we do it? Should it be you and Hav? I was like, you know, I was like, well, you know, at the end of the day, Payne is like Philly, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Like, I like Payne. I was like, I think it'd be dope, you know, where, you know, Hav, you can rhyme if you want to, but then the pressure is not really on you. You know what I'm saying? And then it don't get a direct comparison to Mobb Deep because you can't
replace
it. You can't replace P. So the best thing to do is at least you got an East Coast dude. I'm the West Coast dude. We're gonna talk that shit, and then just give us the beats that you would, you know, that you cook up that, you know, that you would be giving to P right now. That's what I told him. Like, you know what I'm saying? And we honor P on one of the records. We got a song called Nostalgia where we really just honor and, you know, dedicate the record to him. Shit's fire. It was great, man. Like, the Gutter's really collective. It's not just Havoc and Payne and Ras Kass. Everybody, you know, everybody on the project is Gutter. Everybody gets a jacket. So Corrupt and Method Man and, you know, Fame, MOP and Twisted, like, you know, my homegirl Sada, you know, we all Gutter. You know, everything is Gutter. That's our saying. Everything is Gutter. So
do we have a release date yet, or
so,
anything we can circle on the calendar for you?
So we have our PR person in place.
Okay.
We have to get the assets. So what we're right now finishing up. We have to shoot Payne for a video, which is supposed to happen, knock on wood, Wednesday.
Okay.
So once we get Payne. So then I've worked about 5 weeks back. So 5 weeks from now, because once we shoot him, edit the video, give that to the PR lady. We've shot in 2 or 3, but we needed Payne's parts. You know what I mean? So we'll get Payne. It's some amazing records, grinding. So yeah, I would say like a month and a half from now.
That's why I was so appreciative of M80. He actually gave me your phone number. I've never had that happen before, and I really appreciate this because I've been a fan of you for a long time. And like I said, we've known each other, we've seen each other around, but never worked together. So it's great to be able to help you. And anything I can do moving forward, you got it. Like I talked to DigiWax. UNCL or roommates, so there's a real family there. Anything we can do with DigiWax to help you in your releases, you guys got it. So I'm just glad to help you. And shout out to my family, Strong Side Radio. They were excited to have you on the show this past week. So we're gonna get more interviews. Like as people realize that they can get to you through me. We're gonna keep setting up, man. So what's your feeling like with all this new promotion out here? Like we got Instagram Lives, we got Zoom calls, you've got podcasts. How are you reacting or acclimating to all these new ways?
I love it because, you know, initially, before you kind of just had to go everywhere. Yeah. And, you know, sometimes it's not practical. You know, again, when you're independent, you know, I can't always fly to New York just to go do blah, blah, blah. So when, you know, this tool is magnificent. I'm in the studio as we speak, so it was great. You know, my man Twinz the Beat Pro. So Twinz, we stopped the session. I could rock and roll with you, and then get right back to it. So that's a blessing to be able to, utilize technology without, having to do, some weird shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not like, sex and violence sales, so at least I ain't got to be beefing or have some big sticker ass over, So, you know, it's great, man. And I hope to grow it and get the engagement and get the, you know, the excitement, especially for some of these, you know, these records. The gutter shit is phenomenal. I'd like, in the meantime, I'd like to do, I kind of want to drop every 2 to 3 weeks a new joint. I create so much. So that's what I want to do is just make sure, you know,
it's a cheat code, because if you drop consistently like that, especially if you drop on the same day, let's say every Sunday at 5 p.m., everybody knows to tune in weekly for a new song. You don't have to promote it no more. Your marketing budget's zero, because they already, that's what Toby Nwigwe did so well, is every Sunday he dropped a new freestyle for 3 years. So now everybody knows of him, but it's because of all that work. All his fans were built in and they knew where to go.
And that consistency,
Now we can't leave without talking about your son's Coast Contra, man. When I heard that on DigiWest that you were their father, I was so excited because I'm a big fan. Right. So what's it like to have the Twinz, you know, coming in the studio with you now? You showed them early on, but now to see how far they are with their group and all the accolades and stuff they're starting to get.
I am, you know, I'm genuinely excited for them, man. I just, you know, I always say, I don't believe in pride, because, you know, pride can be false. So I believe in respect and honor. So I'm very honored that they took this shit seriously. They care about their craft, all 4 of them. I'm honored that they cared enough to try to make quality stuff and be true to themselves. And then I'm completely grateful to hip hop, to the culture, for giving them a chance, a fair shot. And so that's all you can ever ask for. Like, you know, a lot of times I felt like, me personally, I was like, I didn't really get a fair shot yet. Like, I haven't got a fair shot. It's like constantly a hater here, or there's, you know, I'm like, bro, if I can get one shot, bro, you know what I mean? So it's encouraging to watch, again, the NIMS or, you know, Coast Contra, you know, watching people get a shot, and then it's on them, you know what I'm saying? And when you're ready, you know, success is preparation plus opportunity. So, you know what I'm saying? They're prepared. You know, they've had the advantage of their mother being in this industry, their pops, their, you know, their aunties. So they're sharp, and they all, you know, they don't walk in with a whole bunch of me ego. It's us, and you gotta have a team. So that I love seeing that in them. That they're about their team, they're about their squad. They're loyal people. They're good human beings. So it's always great to see good human beings succeed. I enjoy seeing good people.
Do you think because you're their father, it gives them a little bit more leeway with their lyrics? Because they're already approaching some lyrical content and topics that most new artists would never even think about approaching, because they'd be scared of that, what happens. But you can tell with you being their father, they saying anything and everything. Do you think you encourage that for them? Or?
I mean, I just think that's their DNA, man. They are very balanced human beings, man, and you know, thinkers and philosophical and empathetic human beings. But all of them are. They're just good dudes. You know, not soft in any way, but just good human beings. And I think people confuse like having empathy with being pussy or weak, or you know what I'm saying. And I think it takes strength to give a fuck about people, and so it's a great quality. And they just about who they are. I don't think it's necessarily me. I mean, you know, my mother is a thinker. You know, their mother. You know, so it's like we sit around and, you know, my mom would create topics to debate. She's just that person. You know, so it's encouraged in our family period to be able to explain why you think what you think and feel what you feel. And I think that, you know, that reflects in the music for them too. You know what I mean? So
with seeing some of the things they're doing differently, shout out to the YouTubers that are doing the reviews, and there's different ways they're breaking the records. Are you looking at any of those strategies? Maybe submitting your songs to the YouTube review people, or anything you're seeing them do that you want to implement yourself?
It's so much like that's, you know, you can't do it all. So that, you know, honestly, by, you know, the 80s and the Money Max and all, you know, these people and shit, you like trying to create a team and say, you know, how I will drop one of these hats. I can't wear them all. They're all stacked here. So being able to delegate authority and have somebody that's willing and trustworthy, and say this is the this is the goalpost, and once we get there, how do we, share sharing the benefits of it. So just finding a team that's willing to do that, but it's not. Sometimes it's harder than easier said than done. So for me, that's kind of been one of my journey too, is trying to pull together my team, my squad, because I'm not the videographer, I'm not the editor, I'm not I don't mix the songs, I don't want
right.
Thank God, I got Parks, you know what I'm saying? So Parks is doing,
Oh, Parks. Okay, so Parks is your engineer. Okay,
yeah, man.
That's a cheat code. Okay.
Parks makes the whole gutter shit when it's time to go big boys, right to Parks. You know what I'm saying? And I love him because he'll because me, I'm always got a weird, stupid idea. I'm like, hey man, well by the way, I wanted to change this, and he never gives me shit. He's like, okay, I'll try it. Thanks, Brad. Whatever. And, I got Twinz. We arrange, and we do a lot of music arranging and vocal arrangement and all that. And Twinz is a great brain. So you need there's no self-made. You can't do this shit by yourself. Nope. There's no way you can do it by yourself. You need people.
Now, have you? I know in the DigiWice interview, you had this green screen ready. Are you thinking about doing any kind of podcast yourself? Because imagine the stories you can tell or the friends you can invite. Like, I can see you having the Patreon go crazy off the first episode with you and Corrupt or something. So, have you given any thought into that?
Yeah, so that was gonna be my kind of my media room. So if I was at home, I'd have that green screen. Plus, I was like, well, I guess technically I could, if somebody else wanted the green screen and back and put whatever they wanted back there, they could do it. Yeah. So I don't know. But yeah, I have a buddy. He's actually a lawyer, Canadian, and so his name is Chris Avent. So we've been discussing how to do it, man. He actually flew in like a week ago.
Okay.
So just imagine this really Canadian white kid, yeah. He's a real A. And yeah, man. And he's my buddy, man. He's a great guy, brilliant dude. And so, yeah, we've been discussing doing a podcast together. My homegirl, Nikki, she does her own podcast, and she's a comedian. She's like totally hot. Okay. I'd love to have her come in from time to time too, just because she's hilarious. She has no filter. And she's got crazy boobs. Some people would want her boobs. So sex self. Get Nikki in there. But me and Avent, because people would probably look at us and say they have nothing in common.
Yeah.
And we have all this hip hop and everything in common. So it'd be great. You know what I mean? And then he's the lawyer. He's the lawyer. I'm the bad guy. I'm the jailbird. He's the Canadian. I'm the fucked up American. I think it'll just work. Yeah.
And you'd be a great podcast because all the other podcasters, the rappers retired. You'd be the only rapper that's actually active, still making hits on the radio, still touring around the world. Right. But you tuning in a weekly for just talking about your experiences because we want to know what it's like to be in Australia, going on stage with Snoop. There's stuff you get to do in your life that your fans want to hear about.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. I think we're trying to like put that in motion within the next 2 to 3 months. Okay. So that's it may start maybe top of the year, but I think we'll start before then because we want to put. I think the whole goal is to put like 10 in the can, like half 10.
Yeah.
Just so we're not jumping around trying to find content. Like let's get 10 really great ones.
One little piece of advice I'll give you that a lot of people don't realize is record an hour podcast and then clip the podcast up into 10-minute segments. You got 6 episodes, or clip those down into minutes, and you got 60 clips to promote your show. Like a lot of people make it harder than what it is, but like Gary Vee talks about taking long form content and make it your micro content.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's what I've been noticing even about videos. I was listening to Russ and Lil Russ Soul, ironically, and they both they seemed really dope. I thought it was really cool of them to how they were kind of explaining like, look, man, kids span short. You know what I'm saying? Take your songs, might as well make it, YouTube. Yep. A YouTube short, 1 minute, and every song basically is giving you 3 of those, 2 to 3 of those. So and it's true. That's just kind of where the zeitgeist and people's habits switch.
Yeah.
People had totally different habits during COVID than they have now.
Yep.
Well, not even
Yep.
totally. Some of it,
Fact.
I still binge. I'm not really, at the movies as much. I'm like, fuck it. I know that shit coming to Netflix at some point. I'm cool.
Yeah.
Or HBO Max or whatever. Max. Whatever. It's HBO. Anyway. But, yeah. So, if you fight the current, and I literally mean like water current,
Yep.
you have a higher probability of drowning. So some of these things I would make, I prefer to make them easier than complicated. So,
Now we mentioned the
some,
RJ. We mentioned the RJ Payne and Havoc project that's coming up. Any other projects we can circle on the calendar for you, or anything?
So,
any tours or any shows coming up?
For me right now, my biggest, I have a solo album. So my solo album is called 13th Grade. I want to finish that up because my three priorities are Gutter,
Okay.
and then me and Twinz did a whole album called Bar Rescue, and so I hopefully will have a home for that soon. And then I'd like to put out my solo album, which would probably be next year, but I'd rather have it done, have all my content, video shot and everything, and just loaded and ready to go. So those are the things. Right now, the most important thing is what's in front of me, which is Gutter. So getting Gutter done. We did shoot a long form video for that record for the first single. But we'll still be able to cut it and make,
Yep. I'll help you. I can help you with that too. As you send the video, I can clip it up for you to make it easier. Now, besides Instagram, what's the best way to contact you? If I'm an artist and I've been wanting to get a feature from you, or I'm a producer, I want to submit beats, or somebody that wants to help you with your team, maybe they've got a talent that they can offer you. What are you looking for before people reach out to you, and what's the best way to do that?
Oh man, just period. I definitely would love. I need a nerd girl to just run some of the social media. Like sometimes I forget, like, there's Facebook and Twitter, X, and there's da-da-da. And I don't want to do all that. I want to post one thing and I want somebody else to post it to all the other stuff. I don't want to do all that.
I'm going to send you, when we're done, I'm going to send you a website we use called Later. You can add all your social media to one platform and then post it all at one time. So I got you on that.
Thank you. See, closed mouth don't get fed. I'm glad you got to see. So yeah, but yeah, always looking for just good people. Whatever you bring to the table, you bring to the table, man. And the best way to reach me is my email, RasyBiz, so RASYBIZ@gmail.com. Period. Whether it's features or whether it's just working together in any other capacity. Yeah.
Now you've been able to be in some legendary rooms, work with legendary people, as we discussed. You got any advice for somebody who's new on how they should present themselves when those opportunities present themselves, or what they should be doing when they walk up to you and try and ask how they can help you and stuff? Like, what's some of the things they should be doing?
I would say the first thing when you get into the studio, I've noticed with younger people, they're very cocky.
Yep.
And you may not know everything, so sometimes it's better to not be cocky.
Yep.
Because if you're super cocky and then you end up getting like drugged, or like your talent don't stack up to your ego, it's a big turn off when they don't want to work with you. So what I've always noticed is, just be cool. You know what I'm saying? And by no means do I mean bow down or be beta.
Right.
It's just anytime I go into a room, I want to check the temperature. I don't know these people. I'm gonna stick to what I do best. I'm gonna write my verse. I'm gonna I'm be social until I But a lot of young people like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Yeah, hold on, I got it. Bro. And then they get up in there and mumble and the shit trash, and everybody looking like, bro, who is this person? Like, they won't be.
You lose the opportunity for a second chance if you come in there. Like I was watching Coach Contra when they were on Cosmic Kev's show, and Raz, what he did so well is he's like, I've been waiting all my life for this opportunity. He's real humble, but as soon as that beat hit, he annihilated it. Like there was no humbleness. It was just pure aggression. And that's how you got to be. You got to be humble until that mic hits, and when that mic goes on, kill it.
Bink is called the humble monster.
Yep, Bink's
you got to be a humble monster. That's what Bink is. Yeah.
That's going to be my next question. You worked with a lot of legendary producers. Anybody out there you're trying to connect with, or you would like to, you know, work with? You haven't yet?
I'm a fan of so many people, man. That the list would go on.
Okay.
So, you know, AI generated. I'll probably have to, or when you get on YouTube and it's just like, so and so kind of Rock Marcy type beat, you know what I mean? Whatever. So, I may not get to work with all the people that I, you know, really enjoy. Or, you know, I'm just fucking around. Rock Marcy's good people, man. I fuck with Rock. But one person that stands out in my brain is I am curious to what me and Pharrell would create.
Woo! Yeah, that would be fire.
I'd like to. I got a political project, and she's a friend of mine. I haven't seen her in a while, but for this political, like you said, put shit in the universe, it might happen. MIA. So Maya,
Yeah.
I'd love to. I want Maya on this project, so I'm putting that out in the universe.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen her. If I see her, I'd be like, bro, like, I want you to be a part of this. I think
Now, you've always been very political. You know, your first album was full of a lot of songs and stuff like that. Do you feel compelled today with what the environment is? You talked about it in your original song. You're kind of futuristic with everything. So now is there like a need for you to respond or have a new album that kind of says, I told you all this was coming, so here's what's next, or, you know, continue those stories?
I mean, you know, the human condition, unfortunately, is ongoing.
Yeah.
You know, there's always been winners and losers, and somebody abused, and somebody's getting, you know, fucked over. So, you know, at some point, when I feel the need to express something about injustice in whatever capacity that is, I do it. I don't do the dead horse thing. Like, I'm not a political rapper.
Yeah.
I'm not a, you know, like, I never liked even like I'm a gangster rapper, or I'm a trapper.
Yeah.
To me, I always feel like that's the gimmick. Like, or I'm the love song, R&B. Like, bro, like, you're a human being with varied emotions, so talk about who you are. And so I thought that would be my strength. That you couldn't put me in a box. It didn't work out. My company didn't know how to market that. Because what I would always tell them is, you want some gangster shit? I got those. Yeah. You want some Jay-Z fly shit? I'm a fly dude. I be on some hood shit. I be on some reflective shit. I be on some love shit. I be on some get some pussy shit. I be on like, because that's who I really am. And so I try to be honest about myself in the music. And most people like a marketing thing. They like, oh, he's the trap rapper. He's the gangster rapper.
Yeah, they want to put you in a box.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so because I don't check any of those boxes, it's been a hard market for me.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to like undummy my audience. Like, bro, you don't have to just like trap songs.
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong if you like trap songs, but you know, you can like R&B, you like country western, you can like East Coast rap, and like how about you can like Drake, and you can like Outkast, and you can like Scarface, and you can like any LE Chopper. If you like it, you like it. But most people get like literally. I go, bro. I can go to a, you know, emo club, and they all look the same. I go to a rock club, like people start doing this fucking weird animal where they all start dressing the same. They start having the same tone. They all speak the same, which is fucking weird to me.
Yeah.
Like,
and what's crazy to me is because I deal with a lot of independent artists. You'll hear an artist in Cali and hear an artist in Florida. They've never met before. They've never spoke, but they sound exactly the same. But they're telling you how they're one of a kind talent. I'm like, look, like I'm hearing it in Cali too. And it's not negative. It's just sometimes the styles bleed over like that.
I just think at this point, especially with what's current and popular, is pretty in this box. And we know what it sounds like. And so they all emulate that thing. It's kind of rapping off beat, and it's kind of singy, and how do I know which one is good or not? I don't. I can't tell because aesthetically it all sounds the same.
The same. Well, that's what I appreciate about you and what the other legends are doing is bars are back right now. Like there's a Killer Mike right now, best album
Yeah,
out, is all barred up.
yeah.
You've got, we mentioned your sons, all barred up. You've got Toby Nwigwe. We can keep naming artists that are back to the bar. So how exciting is it to see that while right now it might look like that music is on top, really the true hip hop heads are making a push
Run.
back to lyricism and
Yeah.
bars.
I mean, Force Tour, and with like selling out and hip hop. It's a good time to have a skill set. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, so that's why I'm really trying to get these projects out. I'm like, bro, I want to get in here and mix it up with everybody. Like, I think we got some shit for everybody too, and I'm loving it. I'm loving hearing and seeing skillful people and still make good records. Just because you are dope on the mic doesn't mean you can't make a good song too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Biggie proved that many of times. You know what I'm saying? I think Jay-Z proved that many a times. I think Outkast proved that. You can bar up and make a dope record. So yeah, it's a great time, man. I'm looking forward to letting them.
Have you thought about, I know you've prided yourself on being peaceful all these years and being the person that gets along with everybody, but have you ever thought about a 50 Cent, How to Rob the Industry, and tell them, I told you for years I'm better than you. Now I'm going to start putting a name to these bullets, and what you going to do about it? Like, have you ever given any thought to some type of...
No, I'll tell you a funny story, though. Literally, lightning struck at the same time. So Doo-Wop, the DJ, had a record deal.
Okay, yeah.
And he had all these different features, and then I did a song, and I took the 702, Where the Girls At, from the front to back.
Yeah.
And so I did Biggie. I did Fucking R&B Chicks.
Yeah.
And basically the label, it was politics. They were just like, but Ras Kass ain't hot. What about the so-and-so song, whoever? What about the Tablets record, da-da-da-da? But my record activated. Like, everybody kept saying, like, yo, Raz this was the record.
Yeah, you got everything on fire.
Like this record is dope. The girls like it. The dudes like it. He flipped the Biggie shit. It made it current for that time period. Different R&B groups. And they fronted on it, and then they finally decided, you know what? Let's white label this record. And went to manufacturing. And back then, manufacturing maybe took 2-3 months. And literally, the week we were getting the vinyl back, they went and played 50 on Flex. The How to Rob. And only one could exist. And timing is everything. Literally deaded the record because they were too similar. How to Rob and fucking R&B chicks. And if the label hadn't fronted and played politics, we would have had our record out 2 to 3 weeks before. And then look at all the opportunity that grew from that 50 record.
Now, with all these experiences you've had with Bad Label, does that help you with your sons when you're talking to them or trying to give them any guidance? Like, do you still believe in the possibilities of what labels can do, or have you had so many bad experiences?
No, of course. I mean, they're a bank. They're loaning you money with a fucked up interest rate, but they have a lot of money, and they have a lot of they have a lot of doors open to them that are not open to the average unsolicited artist. So I always tell them, I tell them, look at my successes, my failures. When some things that went wrong for them, we get a powwow, or when they, it's their journey. But when they call me, I give them as best as my experiences, what I've learned, I share that shit. And I would do that with probably anyone that I fuck with. I'd say, look, man, this is what I learned. I think it's fucked up if I've already fell off this cliff. Why would I not tell you? Like, some people are like that. They're like, I fell off the cliff. Fuck him. I want him to fall off too. Like, because they're miserable. I'm not that kind of person. I'm like, look, bro. Look, when you turn around this corner, man, it's gonna be a fucking tree, bro, and it's gonna poke your eye. So I'm telling you, put your head down, put your hand up. Whatever. I'd rather inform people. If you don't listen, that's on you. So sometimes, and with them, because I'm not dadager, it's their journey. Sometimes I might see some things where I'm like, hey, man, I think differently, but I don't interject my opinion unless asked, because they're their own men. It's their journey. I got my life. They got their life. and it's not for me. You know, they're not 7 years old. They're not 10 years old. These niggas are over 18. So I have to allow them to be their own men, you know. But when they ask, then I could give them the bars. Like, you know what I'm saying? You should chop it up with so-and-so. You should do this. This is what, these are my thoughts. That's from my experiences. Then I share my experiences. But I don't volunteer it unless asked.
Yeah. Now, I know you're a busy person, so I'm not going to say too much more of your time, but what do you like to do for fun? And if you weren't making music or you're not doing something music, what do you like to do for fun when you have a day off?
I didn't get to do it. I just came back from Hawaii, but I wanted to jet ski. I like to fish. My swim game is not as good as it used to, so now I want to get back into swimming and diving because I used to be decent. I wouldn't Phelps, but I was pretty deep. Like my whole snorkel game. I want to get back to snorkeling. That's just fun.
Okay.
I love zip lining, and then I'm a movie buff, so I just like watching dope shows. Gangs of London is what I'm on right now, which is a dope show. The fight scenes, like the not fight scenes, but the shoot scenes, like the murder game be gangster on it. I don't know if y'all seen that, but go YouTube. I think it's on whatever the UK channel is. I forgot what it's called. But the London show, Gangs of London. That's just hard. It's literally like Iranians, the Irish, African dude, like it's ill. They be getting busy on the murder game. So I just love movie buffs, dope shows. When I get home, I'm gonna go watch Ahsoka.
Okay.
Yeah. I fucks with. Oh, Star Trek was fire. The new one with what's his name? I just like that actor. Oh boy.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm a nerd, bro. A lot of nerds.
And I know I'm very excited. You and Esso, you know, gonna get you on Bag Talk when you're in New York and get you on 8 Bar Clips. I'm excited to let the youth see how dope your bar game really is, you know, because they've heard the legends, but it's time to show them, you know, proof of what it is.
Yes. Oh shit! And shouts out, happy birthday to El Gant, man. My brother El Gantian's birthday. I think Wednesday, he said, but I'm calling it out now, man.
Happy birthday. And then anything else you want to let the people know before I let you get out of here?
I just want to thank you, man. I appreciate you having me, man. It's just, you know, let's do more. Let's keep growing.
You sound. You muted. I think you're muted. Oh,
my bad.
I didn't hear that last part. Sorry.
Oh, I said, for the people that haven't heard Avatar Gangster, please stream it. It's everywhere on every platform. And, you know, in the next week or so, dropping another banger. I'm just going to do bangers, man.
Okay.
I think I'm going to call that series Alexandria's Flash Drive. It's just going to be records that are not attached. So Alexandria's library was in Egypt and supposedly got burnt down. So it's all these songs that don't really, you know, that don't have a home. But I'm going to just leave records that I really love, but that just didn't fit any particular album. So that eventually I'm gonna have it on Bandcamp. It'll be a free download by the time I get to like 10.
Okay.
But I'm starting now. So Avatar Gangster's 1 with the vibe bar thing, and then the next song that I drop in a couple of weeks. So that'll be running parallel to the campaign for Gutter.
Okay, dope. Well, I appreciate your time. Last thing, any shout outs you want to give to people who've been rocking with you early on or who's still rocking with you today?
Oh man, that list is too big. You know who you are. All my friends, all my fams, all my homies. I do want to, you know, send some rest in peace and condolences to my friend Dags, who lost his mother. My homeboy Major, who passed away. I do want to shout out Major, and you know, God bless, you know, y'all families, and hold your head, and everybody else. I'll see you soon, New York.
Yeah.
I will see you soon, Atlanta, probably later than that, and then London, I'm on my way.
So, well, I appreciate your time tonight. You have a great night, fam.
You too. Appreciate you.